Did you know that a super common food that you might eat every day could be shrinking your penis without you even realizing it? It seems absurd, doesn't it? But this is a reality that many men ignore until they start to feel the first signs that something is not right. If you value your sexual potency, your performance, and want to keep your male health high for many years, you need to pay close attention to what I'm going to reveal now. Because today I'm going to show you who this silent villain is and how he is directly attacking your performance, your blood circulation, and, even worse, causing a slow and progressive loss of the size of your penis, something that no one tells you about, but that is happening while you maintain this seemingly harmless habit. Many people believe that a decline in sexual performance only comes with age, that it is normal to feel a difference in the firmness of erections or sexual response as the years go by. But the truth is that, in many cases, this loss has nothing to do with the time that has passed. It has everything to do with the poisons you put on your plate without even realizing it. And the scariest thing is that the food responsible for all this damage is not something exotic, rare, or difficult to find. On the contrary, it is an item that is part of the routine of millions of people, present at breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks. It is so common that it goes unnoticed, infiltrating your daily life, sabotaging your potency slowly, but extremely efficiently. When you consume this food regularly, what happens inside your body is a real invisible sabotage. The substances present in it cause chronic inflammation, damage your blood vessels, reduce the flexibility of the arteries, and compromise circulation. And as you may already know, an erection completely depends on strong, fast, and consistent blood flow. Without good circulation, blood does not reach the corpora cavernosa of the penis with sufficient pressure, which results in weaker, less lasting erections and, over time, a real loss of volume and consistency. Furthermore, this popular food contributes to increased vascular resistance and favors the accumulation of fat around the organs, including the pelvic region. This fat directly interferes with sexual response, making it difficult to obtain a satisfactory erection and increasing the risk of early erectile dysfunction. And it doesn't stop there. Constant consumption of this food also harms the natural production of testosterone, the main male hormone responsible for libido, sexual strength, and the vital energy that defines performance. It's as if you are planting seeds of weakness in your body every day. At first, you feel almost nothing. The sexual response is still there, the firmness seems normal. But inside, the damage has already begun, and it accumulates little by little silently, until there comes a point where recovering natural potency becomes much more difficult, time-consuming, and, in some cases, even impossible without medical intervention. What I want you to understand is that your daily choices, especially when it comes to food, have a huge impact on your intimate health. There is no point investing in expensive supplements, training hard, or spending money on treatments if you continue to sabotage yourself every day by consuming this food without knowing what it is doing to you. The basis of sexual potency is circulation, blood vessel health, and hormonal balance. And all of this is profoundly affected by the quality of what you put on your plate. If you feel that recently your erections are less firm, that your sexual desire has decreased, or that recovery between moments of intimacy is slower, don't ignore these signs. They are your body asking for help, showing that something is not right. And the change starts now, with the knowledge you are receiving here. So stay with me until the end, because in a little while I'm going to reveal what exactly this common food is that could be damaging your potency, reducing your circulation, and silently sabotaging your virility. And more than that, I'll show you what to do to protect your men's health and ensure you maintain your strength, energy, and performance at peak levels, regardless of age. And before we move on to this very important revelation, I want to ask you something that could make all the difference, not only for you, but for other men who need to receive this urgent information. If this content is already making you see things in a different way, if you are realizing the importance of taking better care of your diet to protect your potency, comment below. I want to know if you already suspected that what you eat could affect your intimate health this much, or if this is surprising you now. Write in the comments, "I choose to protect my power," if you are determined to act from today. Your participation is very important because every comment, every interaction, strengthens this community of men who want to live with more energy, with more virility, and with much more confidence. Furthermore, your comment helps this video reach even more people who may be living in the dark, having no idea that they are sabotaging their own power without knowing it. so don't leave it for later. Right now while it's fresh in your mind. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, take the opportunity now to join this community. Here, every week, I bring exclusive content about men's health, sexual potency, quality of life, circulation, healthy eating, and everything you need to age energetically and continue living to your fullest potential. Don't miss this opportunity to receive information that can completely change your future. Stay with me, because what I'm going to reveal to you now could be exactly what will make you take control of your life and ensure that your power remains strong, firm, and present in all the moments that really matter. You put this on your plate thinking it's harmless, and all the while your penis suffers in silence. This is how the process begins, without pain, without warning, without alarming symptoms. Just a behavior repeated day after day, without the slightest awareness of the damage that is being done internally. And the impact is much more serious than most men can imagine. When you consume this popular food, the first big attack happens on your blood vessels. The substances present in it cause an inflammatory response in the inner lining of the arteries, the so-called endothelium, which is extremely sensitive and vital for healthy circulation. This continuous inflammation causes the vessels to lose their natural ability to dilate and contract efficiently. They become stiffer, less responsive, more susceptible to injuries and obstructions. This means that the blood, which should flow freely to deliver oxygen and nutrients to the tissues, begins to encounter resistance along the way. Circulation is no longer as efficient as it should be. And for an organ like the penis, which relies exclusively on a powerful surge of blood to generate and maintain a firm erection, this decrease in flow is simply devastating. Over time, the reduction in blood flow becomes chronic. It's not that you'll notice it overnight, but little by little your ability to achieve strong erections begins to decline. And the worst thing is that many men attribute this simply to age or everyday stress, without even suspecting that the real culprit is on the plate, in that food that seems so common and harmless. Each meal contaminated with this villain is like an invisible hammer blow to the pillars that support your sexual potency. In addition to the reduction in flow, there is a progressive increase in vascular resistance. With the vessels inflamed and hardened, the heart needs to pump harder to try to keep the same volume of blood circulating. This constant pressure further damages the vessel walls, promoting micro-lesions that, in the long term, lead to the accumulation of fatty plaques, further narrowing the space for blood to pass through. This is one of the most dangerous paths to silent hypertension, one that sets in little by little, without obvious symptoms, but which corrodes your sexual health from within. Silent hypertension is particularly cruel to the penis, because the vessels responsible for erection are small and extremely sensitive. Any increase in resistance, any decrease in the caliber of these vessels, directly impacts the quality of erections. And when circulation begins to fail, the corpus cavernosum, which should quickly fill with blood to generate a firm erection, simply can no longer perform its function as it used to. The result is a weaker, less lasting, less satisfactory response. The damage doesn't stop there. This incorrect diet also causes progressive damage to penile tissues. The penis is not just a collection of blood vessels. It is made up of specialized tissues that need abundant oxygen to remain healthy, elastic, and functional. Without adequate oxygenation, the cells in these tissues begin to suffer, lose elasticity, and degenerate. Over the years, this can lead to penile fibrosis, a condition in which normal tissue is replaced by scar tissue, making erections even more difficult and, in some cases, even painful. Furthermore, chronic poor circulation interferes with the cellular renewal of penile tissue, which means that the penis can indeed suffer a visible reduction in its size in an erect state. This happens because the volume of the erection depends on the amount of blood that the corpus cavernosa can accumulate. Less flow, less volume, less rigidity, less length. And this happens slowly, year after year, without most men realizing it until it's too late. You may not feel anything at first. You can believe that everything is under control. But the truth is, while you keep this food in your routine, your body is fighting a silent battle to try to contain the damage. An unequal battle, where each wrong meal gives the enemy more strength and weakens their natural defenses even further. The penis, unlike other organs, is extremely dependent on microcirculation and a healthy vascular response. When these systems begin to fail, the impact is immediate and cruel. It doesn't matter the age. It doesn't matter if you feel young, If blood flow is compromised, sexual response will be compromised as well. And all of this could be avoided with more conscious choices. All of this could be reversed if the first step was taken in time. But to do this, you need to break the illusion that what you eat and drink does not influence your virility. You need to understand that intimate health is a direct reflection of the choices you make every day, on your plate, in your glass, in your routine. If you are feeling that something has changed, if you notice that the power is no longer the same, if you feel that the stiffness is not what it used to be or that the stamina has dropped, then it is time to act. Your body is giving you signals. Your penis is crying out for help. And the answer is here, starting now, with the awareness you are gaining. Comment below if you already had any idea that such a common food could cause all of this. I want to know if this information opened your eyes. Write in the comments, "I protect my circulation," or "My intimate health is a priority," to show that you are determined to change and take care of your power from today onwards. Your comment is essential for this message to reach even more men who need to wake up to this reality. These signals are your body's cries for help, and ignoring them can be very costly. You need to understand that your body is an extremely intelligent machine, and it always tries to warn you when something is not working as it should. The problem is that many men ignore these signs at first, thinking it's just stress, tiredness, or age. And it is precisely this negligence that opens the door to much more serious problems in the future. When we talk about male health, especially sexual potency, and the ability to have firm and satisfactory erections, the body gives clear warnings. And most importantly, the sooner you recognize and act on these signs, the greater your chances of regaining your natural performance and protecting your virility for years to come. The first sign, and perhaps the easiest to notice, is the firmness of the erections. If you've started to notice that your erections are no longer as strong as they once were, that's a red flag. The penis, as we have already said, depends on a fast and intense blood flow to achieve and maintain a rigid erection. When this flow is compromised, whether by inflammation of the blood vessels, increased vascular resistance, or poor circulation caused by poor eating habits, the first manifestation is a gradual loss of firmness. At first, it can be subtle. You can still have relationships, but you feel that the rigidity is no longer the same. Over time, if nothing is done, the situation tends to get worse until it reaches the point where the erection is no longer sufficient for satisfactory sexual intercourse. Another very common and equally worrying sign is the loss of sensitivity. The penis, to function well, needs perfect communication between the nervous system and blood circulation. When the vessels are compromised and the nerves begin to be affected by the lack of adequate oxygenation, sensitivity decreases. You notice that the stimulation is no longer as intense, that the pleasure is not as vivid as before. This is not normal, much less an age thing, as many people try to convince themselves. It is a clear cry for help from your body, showing that the system responsible for sexual response is being harmed. Decreased erection time is also an alarming symptom. If before you were able to maintain a firm erection throughout intercourse and now you notice that it lasts less time, that it loses strength quickly, or that it oscillates during the act, this is a direct sign that the blood flow is not able to sustain the necessary pressure within the corpora cavernosa. This is one of the symptoms that most affect men's self-esteem, because it generates insecurity, fear of failure, and ends up directly affecting performance. And the worst thing is that, if ignored, it tends to get worse, creating a cycle of anxiety and even worse performance. Another indicator that cannot be ignored is the increase in recovery time between one erection and another. If in the past you needed just a few minutes to be ready again, and now you need hours, or even feel that you cannot regain your erection on the same day, this shows that your sexual regeneration capacity is compromised. Slow recovery indicates that your circulatory and hormonal systems are no longer responding as they once did. And this sluggishness isn't just a momentary discomfort, it's evidence that the body needs urgent help. These 4 signs, reduced firmness, loss of sensitivity, shorter erection duration, and slower sexual recovery, are like sirens going off inside your body, screaming for change. These are warnings that need to be taken seriously, because ignoring them is giving space for the damage to progress, for conditions to worsen, and for the recovery process to become increasingly difficult, painful, and, in some cases, irreversible. And there's more. Along with these more obvious signs, the body also emits other more subtle warnings that, together, reinforce the loss of power. Frequent feeling of tiredness, loss of energy for physical activities, lack of spontaneous sexual motivation, irritability for no clear reason, and even mild depression can be associated with hormonal imbalance and poor circulation caused by poor eating habits, excess consumption of inflammatory foods, and disregard for vascular health. You can try to fool yourself by saying that it's normal with age, that it happens to everyone, but the reality is different. Most men who suffer from early erectile dysfunction or significant loss of potency could have avoided this fate if they had paid attention to the early signs and acted in time. There is no magic, but there is knowledge and attitude. And that's exactly what you're gaining now. The knowledge you need to understand your body's signals and the opportunity to act before it's too late. If you are identifying one or more of these signs in your life today, know that this does not have to be your destiny. There is a way to reverse this situation, strengthen your circulation, recover your sexual potency, and rebuild your confidence. But it all starts with recognizing that the problem exists and that you need to act now. Comment below if any of these signs have already appeared in your life. I really want to know your experience. Write in the comments, "I listen to my body," if you understand the importance of paying attention to these alerts. Or comment, "My intimate health is a priority," to show that you are determined to protect your power with intelligence and attitude. You can regain your natural potency if you act now. The good news is that even if you've already felt some warning signs, even if you've already noticed a loss in the firmness of your erections, a decrease in desire, or a slower sexual recovery, there is still time to turn the tide in your favor. Your body is an incredible regeneration machine, and when you remove the factors that cause damage and start providing the correct stimuli, it responds. Sometimes it's not immediate. Sometimes it requires patience and consistency, but recovery is real and possible. The first action you need to take is to eliminate from your diet that food that is sabotaging your circulation, your blood vessel health, and consequently your sexual potency. There's no point trying to improve performance with supplements, training, or medication if you keep putting on your plate every day what is poisoning your health from within. This food needs to come out of your routine without excuses, without exceptions, without that just today thought. Each day of consumption of this villain is one more day of silent damage to your body. In parallel, you need to start prioritizing foods that promote circulation and help repair the damage already caused. Red fruits, such as strawberries, blackberries, blueberries, and raspberries, are great allies in this process. They are rich in natural antioxidants that fight free radicals, reduce vascular inflammation, and improve the flexibility of the arteries. When you strengthen your blood vessels, you are directly investing in the quality of your erections, your sexual responsiveness, and your male vitality. Dark green leafy vegetables such as spinach, kale, and arugula are also essential. They are natural sources of nitrates which the body converts into nitric oxide, the key molecule for the dilation of vessels and the proper functioning of penile circulation. Incorporating these foods into your daily routine is like providing high-quality raw material to rebuild the system that supports your sexual potency. Another essential step is to practice regular physical activity. Exercise is not just about aesthetics or weight loss. It is a matter of survival for your male health. Regularly practicing aerobic activities such as brisk walking, light running, cycling, or swimming directly improves blood flow, strengthens the heart, reduces blood pressure, and promotes the production of natural testosterone. When you move every day, you are telling your body that it needs to stay young, flexible, and full of energy. It's like a constant reset that keeps your circulatory system at high performance. Strength training, even at moderate levels, is also extremely beneficial. Training muscle strength increases testosterone production, improves insulin sensitivity, and promotes general metabolism, all of which have a positive impact on your libido, the quality of erections, and your performance as a whole. If you still don't do physical activities regularly, it's time to change that today without waiting for a magical sign, without making excuses. Your body demands movement to stay strong, and it is impossible to talk about recovery and protection of intimate health without talking about hydration. Drinking enough water is essential to keep the blood fluid, to facilitate the transport of oxygen and nutrients to the penile tissues, and to ensure that the circulatory system functions efficiently. Water cleanses the body of toxins, helps control blood pressure, and keeps cells functioning properly. If you're not drinking at least 2 liters of pure water a day, you're neglecting one of the basic pillars of preserving your potency. Drastically reducing the consumption of refined sugar is also a mandatory action. Excess sugar is one of the biggest enemies of healthy circulation. It inflames the vessels, accelerates the aging of the arteries, favors the accumulation of abdominal fat, which is hormonally active, and further impairs testosterone production, and creates an internal environment that is completely unfavorable for sexual health. Sugar is hidden in processed products, soft drinks, sweets, cakes, white breads, and fast food. If you really want to regain your potency, you need to become conscious about what you are putting into your body. These changes, when combined, create a powerful synergistic effect. It's like building a shield around your circulation, protecting your blood vessels, strengthening your heart, balancing your hormones, and giving your penis the perfect conditions to function at its maximum potential. There is no single miracle supplement that can replace this set of actions. There is no magic pill that can cancel out years of bad habits. Yes, there is a conscious decision to change and the discipline of building, day after day, a solid foundation for your male health. And it's not just about sexual performance. It's about energy to live, the willingness to face your days with vigor, high self-esteem, full confidence in your ability as a man. Sexual potency is only an external reflection of internal vitality. When your body works well, when your circulatory system is free, when your hormones are in balance, your performance in bed is just the natural consequence of a healthy body. Maybe you're thinking that it's difficult, that changing habits requires effort, that the routine is hectic. And it's true. Changing requires effort. But do you know what requires a lot more effort? Dealing with the consequences of negligence, dealing with the loss of power, with silent shame, with intimate frustration, with the emotional impact that impotence can bring. This is indeed expensive. It costs you your happiness, your self-esteem, your personal fulfillment. You can decide now which path you want to take. Continue letting small poisons slowly destroy your intimate health, or take control of your life and build, day after day, the best version of yourself. The power is in your hands, in your choices, in your habits. It's not about perfection, it's about awareness. Every little change you make is a step toward a life with more energy, more pleasure, and more power. If you are determined to protect your power, comment below. I want to see who is truly committed. Writes, I choose to live to my fullest, or my power is my priority. Your comment is very important to strengthen this group of men who are determined to live healthier and more vigorous lives. If you've made it this far, congratulations. It shows that you really care about your health, your potency, and want to be the best version of yourself. Now, to continue evolving and receiving exclusive content to further strengthen your male health, subscribe to the channel. Click below, activate the bell because every week there is a new video to make you even stronger and more prepared. And to let me know that you stayed with me until the end, comment below. I choose to live powerfully. I want to see who is really committed to protecting their vitality and energy. If you haven't left your like yet, enjoy it now. Your like is what makes this content reach more men who need to wake up to this reality. And you can't leave the video without clicking on the next one that is already appearing here on the screen. In the next video, you will discover even more practical tips to protect your health and keep your power at maximum. See you there.